This is Observious, bringing you guys another League of Legends commentary. I'm going to be bringing you guys Game 13 with a fairly interesting setup, as we do have a Nocturne jungle. That's all fairly standard, but we don't really have an AP carry on purple team outside of Morgana. But we do have that late game carry of Jax and his skins, so that's pretty good. I'm of course going to be taking Tristana, and one of my subscribers, I believe, is of course going to be playing the CV Rammus. I was a little bit worried that I had lost this game for a second, as game 14, which I recorded, after that game it said it had saved to what I had called this replay, and so luckily that wasn't the case, but you guys will not be getting to see game 14, which is a pity, as I believe it was a fairly good back and forth match, not really one-sided at all. Meanwhile, for their team, they do have that jungle Lee Sin. We saw how he wasn't really able to affect much of anything in that last game, but we'll see. Morgana's asking if the jungle is going to be able to handle wards. I'm going to go ahead and say that I'm going to get a few. Because this was a duo queue, I'm really curious as to what the elo was at. You can see that I was last on that set of picks. I'm pretty sure Jafara, the person I was queuing with, didn't have any ranked games before this. So, first ranked game, I think. So, I imagine that's fairly low, but because I've played a few games, I imagine, or with other people. And of course, Rammus is asking if Noct is going to go ahead and start blue, but he's going to go ahead and explain that he's going to go ahead and take the wolf and then go to blue, kind of like I do with Trundle. Meanwhile, I'm going to go ahead and ask Morgana if she's leashing, or if I'm going to. I do have teleport up. I'm going to go ahead and take rocket jump first with Tristana. And my main thing with Tristana is that she does have a really high amount of front AP burst. So, since I'm expecting Ashe in the bottom lane, I was really expecting Ammumu to jungle and Lee Sin to lane, which is another thing. Ammumu wasn't banned, which is very, very rare. And usually I'm able to get Ammumu whenever that happens and win the game, but in this case the enemy has Ammumu. Ashe is going to go ahead and be in the bottom lane, so I'm going to be happy thinking I can burst her down at level 3 or so. And Rammus is going to go in with that Powerball at level 1. Just going to go ahead and turn around. Ammumu is going to show himself, and he does have 966 health because he has that Ruby Crystal, probably because he has defensive masteries and or health runes. But that is still a crazy high amount of health that I'm going to be taking a long time to poke down. But I guess that does go ahead and ensure his level 1 ability, although of course he does have no potions to compensate. Of course I'm going to go ahead and grab that explosive shot, and really I should be using the explosive shot at least once or twice. Try to get it in on Ashe, like right there would be a really good time, but the explosion from explosive shot does what it does. Less damage, but it's still there, and I'm just going to go ahead and keep on blast hitting. Nocturne, meanwhile, did the blue buff, did the small camps. I don't know if he's going to go back and do red, or if he's going to gank top. We'll keep an eye on that later. Malzahar laying up against Morgana. Fairly interesting setup. Morgana going to Doran's ring first, Malzahar also going Doran's ring, so we're not going to see any potions abuse. And they're just going to go ahead and be a gank on Vladimir. I'll keep half an eye on that bottom lane. But he is swinging around. At the same time, there should be a gank coming on to bottom lane if Lee Sin is playing something similar. There's a leap and a stun onto Vladimir getting exhaust. Nocturne's going to go ahead and flash. Vladimir's going to go ahead and get feared, but it's going to be under the tower. Nocturne could be in trouble here. He is ignited to the tower shots. Jax did a tower shot, and that ignite is going to go ahead and finish off Nocturne, and so that will be first blood. Meanwhile, Ammumu gets caught out of position. Needs a taunt and some free auto attacks. He's going to go ahead and take some damage. I am level 3, so I'm trying to be a little bit more aggressive with my rocket jumps while I slap with mana. Lee Sin, though, coming in from behind the fog of war, out of that bush, is going to go ahead and land his kick onto Rammus. I'm going to be going after Ashe, get the kill on her. I should have just rocket jumped immediately. I could possibly be in trouble because I didn't. I should rocket jump over here. No! Don't rocket jump this way. I should have taken a few steps and rocket jumped over that way. And because of that mistake, I am going to go ahead and die. First of all, for not rocket jumping away immediately. Second of all, if I was going to save it, to not rocket jump up to this ledge instead of rocket jumping where they can easily, well, but it's going to go ahead and be 1-3 as the jungler has died trying to gank top, and we've both died from a gank on bottom lane. So Lee Sin definitely doing his job there. He does have a Vampiric Scepter and Boots of Speed, so it looks like he did recall once before ganking the lane. So that's a little bit interesting. Ashe had potions last time we saw her. Malzahar and Morgana still haven't gone back yet. Both of them are just sort of using their respective pools to keep the lanes pushed. Or at least static, I should say. Jack's laning against Vladimir. Looks like he's having a little bit of a hard time. Vladimir does have that blue buff, so he's even more scary, as that cooldown on his Q is really what makes him scary in general, as far as his sustain and so forth. I'm going to go ahead and just keep on trying to cover the lanes. I think I might miss the last hit here. Nope. We go ahead and look at the last hits. I'm at 24. Next highest is Malzahar, also at 24. And then Morgana at 18. And Vladimir at 17 with Ashe close behind. So things are fairly close as far as last hitting goes. Rammus is behind Ammumu with 2 last hits, and a fun little pun there. And it looks like Nocturne with red buff is looking to go ahead and gank the bottom lane. CV going to go ahead and be dropped by Rammus to see that there's no one there. Now, when I did recall, I did go ahead and get Berserker Greaves to better escape ganks and get more attacks off, and a sight ward, which I plan on actually putting right here. I'm going to go ahead and talk about ward placement in a second, and just why I put it in this location. But just going to go ahead and continue last hitting, doing a little bit of pushing, but not too much. And Nocturne is going to go ahead and get bored and leave since I was auto-attacking like a nub. But alright, right here, I should not have rocket jumping, so I even got my rocket jumped off. And overall things are just pretty bad, we're taking a lot of damage. But while Nocturne is in the area, I should have dropped a ward, but it looks like he's going to go ahead and come back and try to get something going, but they're all pushed up. So I really need to put down this ward so I don't get ganked again. Vladimir's got Jax pushed up against this tower. Morgana and Malzahar are still laning just fine. Nocturne's looking to gank that lane. And it looks like Lee Sin killed a little golem at red buff and then ran, because you can see that little golem resetting. So possibly, oh no, that's because Lee Sin rushed to go ahead and gank this bottom lane. And so I've got my rapid fire turned on. I'm trying to get them off, but we're just eating Ammumu's tears fairly hard. I'm not really able to do anything. And I want to rocket jump, but that damage is amazing. Lee Sin even able to dash out of turret range with that shield. I should recall probably, and I did go ahead and miss that yank. So not quite certain where he came from. I believe I'm going to go ahead and try to put the ward here, but nope, Lee Sin and Ammumu are going to go ahead and show up. I tried rocket jumping, but I got stuck on the wall, but it looks like I'm going to be okay. Just a little bit low on mana. Morgana, of course, coming to do whatever she can to the lane. So she's going to be coming down to 3 chambers in the bottom. Now remember, 2 of them are low, so this could be fairly successful. The minion waves are going to go against Spot. She's not going to waste her pool. There's Ammumu getting caught in a position. He's going to go ahead and root and toss down her ultimate. If she's able to land this will be big, but it doesn't look like that's going to be the case. Or if it did, it did like no damage. I'm going to go ahead and pick up the kill on Ammumu. Turn around, I should have probably stayed for Malzahar, but it turns out that that was in fact a bad idea, as Malzahar was waiting for me. And so he's going to go ahead and use his suppression to kill me, and that is going to be that. And it's a good thing Malzahar did save that suppression, as without that I might have been able to pick up both of them, but it would have been close. But as is, now they're going to be up 2 kills to 9, with me picking up both of those kills. And again, that all stemmed from me just not getting that ward down. While I go ahead and go back to lane and everyone sort of resets, I'm going to talk about wards. If you're on Team Blue, you really don't have to worry about your own jungle too much unless they come around the side like this. And so generally you can just drop your ward at dragon so you can see people coming down the ramp, and so on. However, if you're on Team Purple for the bottom lane, you don't have to worry about their jungle right here, and you have to worry about them coming up to the brush right about here. So you're going to need either 2 wards to place, or you can go for a bit of a delayed response and just put it right here, and then just don't push your lane past this so they can't really come out of this bush. So that's that, and of course likewise that's going to be reflected for the blue team over here. For purple team, you can just put your ward over here near Baron and see that just fine, and for blue you can just gonna have to put your ward here and that way you can cover them coming up to the bush, or if they're coming out of this tri-bush, but not so much if they come out of here. But Jax did run by Vladimir's ward, so he's going to be okay. Nocturne looks like he's waiting for a gank of some sort. Morgana also sticking around, but I don't really see anyone to get. Rammus even throwing down a power ball. Ashe playing really safe, just having that Enchanted Crystal arrow. Malzahar runs into Nocturne, and with that Q and that suppression, looks like he's going to give up blue buff. He does turn on his ultimate, but Ammumu is going to go ahead and get that blue buff. And he's a fairly mana-dependent champion, and he's just rushing more health. Looks like he's going to go ahead and get a Warmox first, potentially, or a Frozen Mallet, as they both fill out with a Giant's Belt and Ruby Crystal. Morgana lands the Root and Pool under Ashe, dealing a little bit of damage, but Ammumu might have been the better choice if she had seen him, although scratch that, he's at full health. We would have been able to get more damage onto Ammumu. Meanwhile, I'm going to go ahead and teleport to the mid lane to cover Morgana, but Morgana also pops her teleport, so now things are a little bit redundant. I feel silly, and Rammus is all alone in the bottom lane. At the same time, though, Lee Sin is ganking Jax with red buff. He is getting fairly hurt. Nocturne's even throwing down his Q just to get into cover faster, and it looks like this outer turret will be the first turret to fall. Keeping an eye on that. Meanwhile, of course, Lee Sin using that shield to even get more back, but nope, he's going to go ahead and come back. Jax could possibly be caught by Lee Sin, and don't know if that Q's going to hit or not. Let's go ahead and take it to Nocturne. That's not really a safe spot to recall. At the same time, Ammumu is sitting in this bush with Ashe waiting, and remember, this team has good initiation. That Enchanted Crystal arrow does go through minions and stuns one champion and slows, and of course deals damage to any nearby champions. And Ammumu has that big AoE root plus that targeted skill shot to stun, and of course cap blows. Listen and Vladimir really putting on the pressure at top lane. Nocturne forced to stick around. Looks like he wants to possibly come around the side and gank with his ultimate. Potentially, Lee Sin catching on though is going to go ahead and be right here. It looks like there could be a small fight going on down here. Lee Sin does have his Wriggles and a Ruby Crystal versus Nocturne just has a Berserker's Greaves and Cloth Armor. Not certain if that's going to work out too well. Meanwhile, on the other hand, I'm determining that us, getting dragons and keeping good wards is going to be the only way we're going to buy ourselves out of this, as we are behind 2-10. That Ashe probably just really poking us down. Nocturne's going to go ahead and turn on his ultimate though, and Lee Sin is going to go ahead and jump back to... I don't know what's all going on down there, but Nocturne's going to go ahead and pick up the kill on Jax, then he uses his ultimate onto Nocturne, and he's going to go down, and now it's going to be Morgana versus the other two MPs. Lee Sin. So that's going to be a 3v1. He's going to go down without the stun going off, and so there's just going to be 3 more kills at top. And at the same time, Ashe is going to go ahead and snipe off Tristana and Rammus with a tower dive. We just stuck around at low health too much, and so that is going to be bad. I've got my Wriggles though. This ward will be dying sometime soon. Not quite certain what the timer is on that, since it's not updated. And alright, so I was going to go ahead and say that I was going to go ahead and get Wriggles and the Berserker Greaves so we could just rush dragons faster and know whenever they're coming along to gank the lane, and thus try to get the lane back, as well as of course sustaining. But it looks like our jungler only has Cloth Armor and Berserker Greaves, so I don't know if this is going to be doable, but I believe we're about to attempt this since there is a ward right here showing if they're coming over here. There's no real ward over here. This ward at Dragon itself is probably going to die soon. I should, before I attack, drop a ward over the wall here just to get a better idea. And Nocturne's thinking about ganking that lane, but Ashe is going to go ahead and recall. Ammumu already has Sunfire Cape. Rammus is of course going to go ahead and Powerball away. He shouldn't really be doing this. He should probably be attacking Ammumu so he's not able to engage. Morgana's coming in for that kill, and Nocturne's not really able to put out the damage, and with that pool and Lee Sin coming in with that smite is going to go ahead and just pick up the kill. He picked the dragon really easily. I must have picked the kill on Lee Sin, but I'm going to have to leap away, but that Ashe arrow was going to go ahead and pick me up anyways, as well as that Malzahar DOT, which is what actually killed me. So they're going to go ahead and get a free dragon, and 4 kills, possibly 5. Yep, that is going to go ahead and be an ace, just for 1 kill on Lee Sin. So our team is definitely not doing well. The score is currently 3 kills to 20. So that is just not pretty. They did get that dragon, so that next dragon will be a little bit after the surrender vote, which you can start surrendering at 20. So already things are just looking really grim for Team Purple, as they are 17 kills behind, which is a lot of gold. Plus, Blue Team is up 1 tower, which is 750 gold, even farther ahead. And of course, I'm going to go ahead and rocket jump in the middle of all these minions to just get them down. And I missed last hit there, but oh well. I'm currently at 65, Morgana's at 73. For their top 2 on Team Blue, Malzahar is at 74, and Vladimir is at 82, and he's just farming relatively well with that. Tides of Blood. Meanwhile, Ammumu and Lee Sin are, of course, going to go ahead and be pushing mid lane. Morgana looks like she didn't get hit by that Q, but they're just going to stand in that pool. It's not really doing too much to them. Ammumu has a ton of health. Not quite certain what he's going to use from that ruby crystal as of yet, since he didn't use it immediately. And of course, Morgana's going to throw up that black shield, so she won't be able to be CC'd. And I'm not certain if that includes the presses, but she's going to go ahead and hit Morgana out of the blue with an Ash Arrow for no reason. Just throwing it down there in case they were able to make something of that. And Malzahar DOT going down versus the Morgana pool. And she doesn't really have a pool to throw down, so she's just going to go ahead and get rooted. At the same time, she's going to eat a Malzahar dot. And a DOT or dot is, of course, a damage over time ability. Meanwhile, I'm stuck trying to cover this lane, and so I'm going to go ahead and try to knock people around, but this was just a turret I could not defend, as their powers to just dive are extremely good. Nocturne coming in really late, and he might get picked off here, although here comes Morgana. We could be able to clean up these 2 kills, but no, it looks like Malzahar's going to go ahead and show up, and she's going to be able to stun Malzahar, but he's going to go ahead and go down anyways. And of course, at the same time, Vladimir is able to kill Jax and keep on pushing to this inhibitor tower, while at the same time 3 changes are of course pushing on bottom. Rammus, of course, looking to powerball in. He's going to go ahead and powerball and flash just to get back to the tower. I'm going to go ahead and teleport to the tower itself, but I'm eating a fairly strong amount of harass. I need to get something tanky. I was trying to save up for that BF sword, but I got that pickaxe instead, just to go ahead and play a little bit safe. And I should probably get some survivability since the game is not going too well. If we look at Malzahar, he does have 3 Doran's rings stacked up, which is going to be 15 mana regen per 5, 300 health, 45 AP, and he has the components needed to make his death cap if he doesn't quite have it yet. He is not in our sight line, so he possibly could have bought it by now. At the same time, Vladimir's working towards his own death cap. He did get that Rylai's first. Oddly enough, he's not getting any spell vamp. I guess he doesn't really need it. Mumu just building really tanky. Ashe has her BF sword and 2 Dorn's blades, which I guess is equivalent to what I've got over here. Although I think she has a little bit more damage, of course. She has 68 last hits to 80. Lee Sin just building the good old Wriggles and more mobs, and probably an Atma's Impaler. And that's fairly standard for Lee Sin. And Lee Sin going to go ahead and actually initiate. So he's going to be caught heavily out of position, but it looks like Ammumu, Ashe, and Malzahar are going to come in, and we're kind of really overextending here. I'm low. Jax and us aren't really able to get into the fight. Rammus is going to go ahead and back off. At the same time, Morgana's taking this time to fight wolves. Not certain if this is the best time to do that. Rammus is going to go ahead and get picked up by Ammumu. I really should jump out, and notice how I threw my ultimate this way, but because he flashed, he got shot into the forest. And it looks like now Jax is going to enter the fight late. He's going to go down. I'm trying to shoot over the wall into the brush. Ooh, I need to back out. I'm getting really low. Looks like I am going to go ahead and I need to get out of here before he realizes that I was hit by that. That does go ahead and we're off. And I'm going to go ahead and start recalling. Meanwhile, Lee Sin's trying to chase. He does throw his Q out there. and not certain what's all going on here, but I go ahead and see, hey, he threw down a ward right there, so I'm going to take the risk. I'm just going to go ahead and throw down an E and an auto attack or two, and then run for it. Malzahar, though, with his Voidling being seen right there, is going to go ahead and start chasing, so I'm going to recall over here. And at the same time, Vladimir is of course going to be attacking the inhibitor. Going to be able to pick up Rammus. Not certain if we're going to be able to pick him off here. I've already got all 4 of my kills, I believe. So this would be nice if people got kills. Jax is able to pick up a kill onto Vladimir. There's of course going to be a teleport from to that ward, and so he should be able to clean up Jax. He does have the damage, and there it does go down. At the same time, I've taken the opportunity to buy nothing. I'm trying to save up. I'm guessing I'm saving for the BF sword, and just going to go ahead and try to rush an Infinity Edge. Morgana getting caught out of position, going to go ahead and hit by that enchanted crystal arrow, and they're going to be able to pick her up. I'm not even sure how or why she was even down here. And there was a surrender vote earlier at the 20-minute mark, and it did fail 3-2. So, Purple Team going to be holding on in this fight. I'm pretty sure I was one of the people that hit no. Actually, I was like, you know, maybe we can buy our ways back into this. It's early on yet. They just got a fairly early lead. But in hindsight, I probably should have hit yes. But we'll see exactly whenever the next surrender vote comes up. Leeson's going to talk about how the Malzahar is a noob, and I'm not too certain. He seems that way, but when he does use that suppression late, it does seem to pay off. And he's doing okay, of course, at 7-0-11. But then again, everyone's doing well on their team, with Vladimir at 7-1-3, Ammumu at 7-1-12, Ashe at 6-1-6, and Leeson the jungler at 4-2-11. So that is definitely rather well. And Jax is going to waste his leap and empower on the Voidling and not even be able to kill her. This is a pre-nerf Jax, remember. This is a game from before the patch that came out with Talon. It's going to be the last game that I'm uploading that before the patch with Talon. So that's that. I do not have game 14 for some reason. And Malzahar is going to go ahead and ult Morgana, including, I believe, a Leeson kick. At the same time, I'm dying somewhere. Vladimir killed Jax. I don't know where I died. I can't hit my spacebar to find out where I'm at. F1 key doesn't seem to react. Oh no, I'm a bit over here by Vladimir. So that's that. I did go in there versus Vladimir with Jax, and 2v1 he killed me and Jax, so that was not pretty. Pity I didn't catch that. Ram's coming in with a taunt and Tremors. He might be able to pick up Vlad, but at the same time, nope. Vladimir is able to pick up Rammus. Morgana's coming in now to take on Vladimir, and this is just seeming like a bad idea now. At the same time, of course, 4 chains are pushing the inhibitor tower. I'm trying to cover it, and I just got bursted to death while Morgana is toying around with Vladimir, trying to keep him off of the inhibitor, and that will in fact be a full surrender with 4 votes for and 1 against, and that will be the game. I'm really sorry that my first game with someone who watches my videos ended up that terribly, but it is what it is, and that is going to go ahead and be a loss for game 13. And again, I apologize, but I do not have game 14, so you guys will be seeing game 15 in the next video, and this is Observious, signing out.